Hello everyone, it's Tuesday and I'm very cold. My name is Nick, by the way, I should have mentioned that. But although I'm cold, there are people running around with short sleeve shirts on and no coats, so maybe there's something up with my internal thermostat. Last week on one of these walks I mentioned the PlayStation Classic, which is due for release in December. It's going to come along with 20 games, or we don't know what all of them are. Essentially it's a smaller PlayStation, a recreation, an emulator as you will. Put in a small box that looks as much like the original PlayStation as possible, but it is essentially an emulator where you can download extra games on it, and that's due for release in December. It's going to be popular, not saying that I'm going to be buying, but you know, I don't think the PlayStation 4 can play original PlayStation 1 games, so it's a bit of a solution for people that want a link back. It's not going to be able to load the original discs, unfortunately, so it's all about download and all about selling the same games you've already bought in the first place, but that's the way it goes. There's been a kind of domino effect with these sort of systems in the marketplace. Seems like any old retro console is now being reproduced in this smaller sort of like version, so people can rebuy those, get a link back to their past childhood memories and such. And it's just been, well, it's expected to be announced imminently. By the time this video goes up, they might have even announced it, that they're going to bring out the Nintendo 64 Mini Classic. What a surprise. It was kind of inevitable, really. There was the NES Mini and then the SNES Mini too. And the only problem is, as you get nearer and nearer modern day gaming, the games are larger and they take up more space. The PlayStation Classic due for release is going to come with 20 games. I expect the Nintendo 64, once it's announced, will be something similar, even 20 or maybe even a little bit less. Hopefully one of the release games on this Nintendo 64 Mini will be GoldenEye. That was actually tremendous, that game. And the release title, which was Mario World, which was the first time he went into 3D. Now those two are great games. Although I never owned the system, I have looked at them, and Pod Racer was another one I sort of liked, although I don't think that's held in super regard. So yeah, so watch this space. Imminently the Nintendo 64 Mini is going to be announced. Do you think you'll be buying one of those, or do you think you'll just stay with your steady emulation? If you can emulate, of course, because it's a little bit dodgy to even think about emulation now, but Nintendo flexed their muscles, haven't they, and all the major sites that were storing ROMs have had to take those off. It sort of like fits into the sort of like story that the Nintendo 64 Mini is going to get announced, because they're going to sell those games again. They don't want sites giving the ROMs away for free. So it's all seeming to make sense with this impending announcement. So it seems a system for instant sales and instant success. You take an existing console from back in the day, you remake it a lot smaller, make it look identical, so people have a look at it, so they get a bit of a nostalgia buzz, realistic feel to it, want to play the games again. But essentially it's just hidden underneath there is an emulator, just play a few of the games that have been stored actually in the memory. So boom, it's going to be another seller again. I'm not sure about all of these, to be honest. Oh, he's walked into a tree. So it seems that we're in a world where we're drowning in lots of mini and retro systems from the past, which isn't a bad thing, which made me think about if all these people got together, which they never will, what would be the ultimate mini system you could do? So it'd be like a mini PC. So it wouldn't have to look like any other console. You can put a slate drive in there with a zillion billion gigabytes, and you could probably emulate every sort of game ever. Is that a bit like the Raspberry Pi? I don't know too much knowledge about that. So essentially you could have a mini system that could play a Nintendo 64, SNES, NES, PlayStation games, Spectrum, Amiga. That'd be awesome. Hang on a minute, where's the Amiga Mini? Is that on the horizon? So I said previously I won't be buying a PlayStation Classic and I won't be buying a mini Nintendo 64, but I just mentioned there Amiga, and that sort of like hit the sweet spot with me for nostalgia. It got me at the right age. So, you know, if they released an Amiga Mini, it's a bit where someone tells me they already have done, or it's in preparation, then there's a bit of a chance I might get that if it comes with preloaded games. Why, Nick, would you do that if you've got emulation anyway? Well, it's quick. You wire it up. It's probably got an HDMI port, it's easy to record stuff, and you're there, boom. And Amiga game files don't take up too much space really. Back in the day you might have had a game over 2 or 3 discs, had to keep swapping them. The Amiga Mini, you could just play it completely, and you could have quite a lot of games on there. If they weren't too stingy, that maybe it had it with like 200 games, load of good ones, then I'd be in for it there. Boom, again, lots of booming going on. Don't walk into a tree. Look, a windmill, sort of, behind trees. The Nintendo 64 Mini, has that hit your sweet spot like the Amiga Mini would potentially hit mine? If so, then let me know. Will you be buying that, or do you just see it as another blatant cash in to sell your games that you already bought before? It probably won't be able to play all your old material, so it's just like starting again. Interesting times, isn't it? Retro is absolutely huge, humongous, and we're seeing all the consoles from our childhood get re-released again in miniature form. So let me know what you think about that. Is it something that can be sustained, or can only a few survive? And would you like to see someone release a system, which will never happen anyway, that could play absolutely everything? Or maybe you can build it yourself, call it your name and then Mini at the end. So better get back to base, lots more videos to come. So till next time, I'll see you later on. Goodbye.